Hi, I'm Aishwarya. Today we are here to talk about the investment in the real estate sector, and we have on our panel Dr. Gunaranjan and Dr. Vijay Sai, Managing Partner of Parvathi Properties, Charan Alva, Director of Surya Infotech Part, and Advocate Manjunath hegde. Ranjan, as you know, there's a slowdown in the economy. Is it advisable to invest in the real estate sector?
See, Ashwarya, there's something called as buyer's time and there's something called as seller's time. People actually, often mistake these two phrases. See, buyer's time is the time when everyone is selling, and seller's time is the time when everyone is buying. So, this is the time when everyone is trying to, due to the economic slowdown, everyone wants to sell. All the builders want to sell their properties, like maybe apartments or commercial properties and all. You get the best bargain price right now. So I would advise, for an investor to enter into the market right now so that he gets the best price. And I don't think this pandemic may last for more than 6 months or something like that. As you all know, the vaccine is coming maybe within another 3-4 months. So this may last maybe by this year end. The pandemic fear and all this, anxiety might, wear off. So I think this should be the right time to invest into real estate.
Therefore, where one should invest, in commercial property or in residential property?
See, the investment, whether to invest in residential property or whether to invest in commercial property, it solely depends on you. The residential property it focuses more on the capital gain, as in like in 1 year's time, what is the price that appreciation that has happened, rather than the commercial property, which mainly focuses on the rental returns. So if your investment is for the rental returns, then you have to go for the commercial property. And I would like to draw your attention to one more thing, that if you want to invest in a commercial property, it is a lot more costlier when compared to the residential property. Like for example, if you have a budget of 50 lakhs, you may not end up getting any of the things in a commercial thing, whereas you might get a whole apartment in a suburban area or something like that. So I would say it solely depends on you, like from which angle you want to invest. But overall, I can say that both the investment fetch the similar returns, either by the price appreciation, or by the rental returns.
So at this point of time, where do you recommend to invest in India?
Charan, why don't you elaborate more on Mangalore?
So when he's talking about Mangalore, see Mangalore, as you know, it's one of the highly literate and highly educated city known in India. And recently Mr. Sushitar, who was here, he mentioned it as Oxford of India. So when you have a very good workforce, if you are looking at a technical industry, even when that kind of industry move into Mangalore, because see we are very environmentally sensitive people living here. But then having said that, your technology doesn't interfere with the environment, because it's something which are doing indoors. So when that kind of population move into Mangalore, there is always a possibility of people investing in real estate. It may be a residential, it may be an office space or a commercial space. So Mangalore, I would say, it has got the quality of life, and you go to Mangalore, in and around Mangalore, you don't find any slums. So that is one unique thing about Mangalore. And apart from that, if you're talking about Mangalore, it is connected by all the means of transport. You say airways, it has got a international airport, it has got the port, that is a natural port again. So you have the roadways, you have waterways, so all sort of means of transport, or even railways are there. So all sort of transport are available in Mangalore. Apart from that, if you're looking at the commercial space, it again, like he said, it all depends on what is the budget you have in your pocket. Say now if you're investing in Mangalore city, so your city has two parts again. See, one is the central one, and the other is the suburbs, which is more into traditional Mangalorean tradition. And the city is a mix of cultures, you have people moving in from Kerala and other places also. So now, if you are looking in Mangalore, so again it depends on your budget. It's a bit more expensive in Mangalore compared to the suburbans. So now Mangalore, I feel the central Mangalore is a bit congested right now. So it is the right time to invest in the suburbans of Mangalore. So I would say something towards your Delakate, Modipu is a better option if you are looking at the investment right now, because this is one part which is growing very fast. And even in Mangalore, people are not aware of it. But right now, people are getting aware of it because of a lot of hospitals, educational institutions, and other things coming up in Modipo. Like now you have this Infosys, which has got a biggest campus next to Mysore in Modipo. So and other tech parks are coming up. There's an SEZ of IT in Modipo. So now when there are companies moving into Modipo tech parks, so there is automatically a load on your residential properties. So people working there, they come from throughout the countries, because Infosys hires people from a lot of other cities as well, and people move into this place and they want their residents to be very closer to their office space. So that is the Modipo, like I said, is the most strategic place if you're looking at an investment in Mangalore. So having said that, like there are so many tech companies like Infosys and other allied companies coming into Modipo. See, there is always a load on residential properties. See, now a person investing in residential property, he can rent it out and fetch a better returns as rentals. See, say for example, the Infosys, they have infrastructure to accommodate around 40,000 employees. Okay, so now 40,000 employees coming with their families is 80,000 people.
Wow.
Okay, and their children added. Even if you say one children, it is 1,20,000 people. So for that, see, there is a load for residential. You need a place to stay, right? So now, because a person coming from a Chandigarh, West Bengal, or somewhere, which Infosys hires, he is not going to buy a house here. So automatically, he is going to rent out a place where he can stay until he is here, or he moves out from here. So now, likewise, say when a family is based in Modipo, there are opportunities that somebody wants to open up a shop, a grocery shop, or a barber shop, or a cake shop, or something, some commercial activity. So that is going to fetch you more returns. Even the rentals, if you are looking at, it is going to also fetch you returns. So again, it depends on your budget. So if you want to buy rentals, it's going to cost you a bit cheaper when compared to the commercial property. So this is one place I would say, because a lot of tech companies, and there are two SEZs, not only one. The two SEZs around Modipo. One is a pharma SEZ, other one is IT SEZ. Both require a lot of manpower, and say pharma industries comes with a lot of people who are into the research and other things, R&D, and there are labor people also involved in making the medicines in other places. So when people like that move into this place, so there is always a load for your residential properties and even commercial as well. So I would say Modipo, like they said, tier 2 cities compared to Mangalore. So Mangalore, yes, is a good city, clean city. But then why congest it? Let us not congest Mangalore. Let us move out to suburbans and let it develop. Like, see, if you see Bangalore also. Bangalore, 20 years back, Indranagar was nothing. It was a deserted place. But now it is the most sought out place in Bangalore. You may say 100 feet road. Most expensive also. So, and even Mangalore. See, where do you want to go in Mangalore? The places which is already congested. So, move out. And now this pandemic has come, so people want more fresh air and a lot of free spaces.
Decongested.
So why not decongest Mangalore and move it to suburban?
Agreed.
So now since Infosys already set up here, so they have come out. So why don't others also come out of Mangalore and come to Modipo?
Yeah, that is.
So here the last question I have for Advocate Hegde. How is the investor protected legally?
See, the investor is protected, by the central government. There's a central law, okay, and then there are local laws. So, for example, in Maharashtra, you have MOFA. You had MOFA, which is a very local law, okay. You have certain municipal laws. Similarly, in Mangalore also, you'll have their own specific laws. But as an overall impact, if you say, okay, there are certain central laws, and the first and the most important one I would say is RERA, which was launched, which came out in, the act came out in 2016, where RERA protected all investors, from the misdeeds of builders. Okay. So, like for example, I would like to stress on three aspects of RERA. One is that 70% of what you give to a builder will have to be invested in the construction of the property. So, therefore, that 70% goes to the corpus in the construction of the property. The second thing is that what happens in this is that earlier what builders would do, they would take your money, then they go take the same money and they buy another property and your property is stalled. But now this cannot happen. Therefore, the interest of the investor has been taken care of. The second aspect is that whatever is specified in your brochure, that construction details have to be given to RERA, and you have to abide by that list that you have given. And lastly, you have the Consumer Protection Act. But Consumer Protection Act, really speaking, takes a very, very long time. So the government is now all out to actually protect the consumer in a far larger way. And that's probably one of the reasons why there's also a slump in the market. Because all those hanky-panky deals that used to happen with builders earlier, today does not happen. One of the things that RERA is struggling for is it will be a time construction-led payment and not a time-led payment. Earlier, every month you had to pay to the builder, irrespective of the fact whether his construction was going on or no. If you did not pay, then you are liable to be prosecuted, because as per the agreement you have signed, you are supposed to pay per month EMI. But in this, it is not like this. It is on per slab basis how much you have to pay. So these are the three basic acts in which a consumer is protected. Now, the second aspect I would say is that from an individual point, every person, investor who is buying a property, okay, should not be penny wise and pound foolish. I am not, because I am an advocate and I am, promoting the business of advocates, but I think everyone must have a lawyer, because you must do due diligence of the property, which means there are certain papers, okay, whether the building plan has been approved, okay, is the legal rights of that property in the name of the builder, okay, what are the bylaws, does he have an occupation certificate, okay, does this, is the agreement registered? And then, like I think in Mangalore you have what, 711?
911.
911.
Okay. While in Bombay you have 712 you have. So all those documents which only an advocate would do. Therefore, if you can't afford an advocate, I would say the least you should do is take a small amount of loan from the bank, because the bank will do the due diligence for you.
Now, can we safely say north, south, east, west, our Mangalore is the best?